Today on the Justin Nava Show, we're talking about landing pages. Specifically, what landing page do you need for your Easter service? What is a landing page? Why is it important? And quite honestly, I'm going to tell you why you need one for Easter. And yes, we have talked about this before, but I'm going to expand upon it a little bit more here in the Justin Nava Show. Plus, after that, we're going to nerd out a little bit with some Captain Marvel. So this is the Justin Nava Show, Episode 6. What is a landing page, and why do you need one for Easter? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Justin Nava Show. If you don't know who I am the titled Justin Nava. I am one half of Church Training Academy, where we show churches and ministries how to use the technology, how to use it, exploit it, and get your message out to the world and to your community using technology. And on the Justin Nava Show, what we do here is we take kind of micro segments of what we talk about, and we really dive deep into one particular topic. Most places, you'd have to pay for this information. You'd have to pay me $250 an hour to get this information if I was talking with you one-on-one. But the Justin Nava Show is, a way to broadcast some of these down, deep, dirty principles and tactics to the churches at large at no cost. So today we're talking about what is a landing page. And let me tell you what got us into this. We have a resource called the Best Easter Landing Page Template. And with Easter coming up, 40 days away at the time of this recording, probably 39 days away by the time this gets published, we've had more and more people finding our landing page template, downloading it, and I always follow up. 3 hours after you download something from CTA, I always follow up with an email that says, hey, did you get it? Do you have any issues, any questions? Get a lot of people saying, thank you for this, I got it, I'm implementing it. And interesting enough, last week, 2 people emailed me and was like, okay, this is great, but how do I implement it? And I explained, you got to get on your website platform, and do it yourself. And they said, well, what's a landing page? I thought this was like something I could just plug in my website. It's not like that. And I'm going to explain what exactly a landing page is. And also we're going to get into a little bit of the importance here. First, let me tell you about Church Website Essentials, because we are talking about websites today. We're talking about landing pages, but I want to make sure you don't miss the essentials, okay? What we're talking about today, the landing page, is a very, very focused, laser-focused way to use your website to promote Easter. But for your general website, I want to enter with this. If you're still working on your general website, your website as a whole, you need to have these 7 website essentials. This is what's going to attract more visitors to your church website using the 7 principles laid out in here. Now, these are not tech tutorials. These are specifically strategies and methods that you need to use and principles you need to have for your church website to be functional, okay? Because it's not good enough just to have a church website. A lot of churches I talk to, why do you have a website? I don't know, because we're supposed to have one. It doesn't really help if you have one, but you don't know what it's supposed to be used, because how are you going to measure the success of it? Go to betterchurchwebsite.com, get our free guide, 7 church website essentials, and you're going to see exactly why you have a website, what it should do, and 7 ways that you can improve your current website right now, no matter what platform, no matter what your skill level is, no matter what your budget. You can do it, all 7 of these right now with the guide. So again, go to betterchurchwebsite.com and get that guide. All right, so the email just went out, so not too many people in chat. Tommy's in chat on YouTube as I record this live, and Tommy said he's waiting for the Justin Nava Show. If you don't know what he's talking about, you missed the live conversation with me and Adam McLaughlin. That will be out actually a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks after this episode publishes. So if you're missing out on the fun, or if you feel like you're missing out and you're not okay with that, you want to be part of the party, we want you to be here too. Be sure to go to Facebook and YouTube /Church Training Academy and give us a follow there. Give us a subscribe. We want you to be in here with us because we want you to shape the way our shows go. And me and Dave, this is something that we're working on. We want to be able to see the comments as they're rolling in. You'll notice I saw Tommy's comment. I read it, and I want him to be involved in the show. I want you guys to shape the show. And the Justin Nava Show secret, one of my goals here is to use this as practice to get better at the Church Media Guys show when it comes to reading live comments. So I want you to be here. Justin Nava Show goes live around 11:15 a.m. on Tuesdays. Church Media Guys show goes live on Fridays, same time, 11:15 a.m. Central Time for both of those time. If you want to be in on the conversation, go to facebook.com/Church Training Academy or youtube.com/Church Training Academy. All right, enough asking. I've asked you enough to do too. Let me give something to you. So today, main topic, we're talking about landing pages. What is a landing page? A landing page is simply one page, one web page. This is not a whole website with all the information. No, it's one page with one topic and one goal. Okay, let's break that down. One page. There is nowhere you can click out of this landing page. A landing page is one page. It's a website with one page. Okay, it can be part of your own website. It could be like you have your home page, your about page, your ministry page, your give page. It can be a page in there. You could have an Easter page. The difference is, to make it a landing page, you have to eliminate all ways that people can click out of that page. Okay, if they land on your page and it says Easter information, and then they say, "Oh, let me check out the kids ministry or the student ministry," that is not a landing page. Okay, that is a web page. Now, why is it important? Because when people land on your landing page, you want them to focus on one thing, and honestly, they want to focus on one thing too. In this case, the example I'm using is Easter, but for evergreen stuff, you could also use this for VBS, for Christmas, all that good stuff. So you got one page on your website. It has one topic, okay? The only topic is the event. Usually it's for events, okay? And then it has one goal. The goal is sign up, RSVP, buy the book, whatever the goal is, that is the goal. So you have one page with one topic with one goal. That is a landing page. If anyone else can click around your website, that is not a landing page, and that is not what you want for Easter. Why? I can hear you on the other side of the screen. Why wouldn't I want them to check out our leadership? Why wouldn't I want them to check out our kids ministry? Because people are looking for one thing only when they find your landing page. Okay, when they find your Easter page, they're looking for one thing only. The last thing you want to do is distract them with other things. Let me tell you a story. One time I went to AutoZone with my dad. I say one time. This was like last year. He was in town, and I swear, I promise you, the blinker went out when he was with me in the car. Okay, the blinker, the bulbs can go out if you don't know this, and you got to replace them with new bulbs. Now, growing up, I was not the most responsible kid, so I would get pulled over because my blinkers would go out and I wouldn't replace them. Or I wouldn't even think about it. But I swear, and I never got a ticket. I always got warnings. Fantastic cops. I swear, this blinker went out when he was in the car with me. And so, of course, Dad being my dad, he said, "We're going to pull over at AutoZone right now. We're going to get a blinker light." And I said, "Okay, sounds good." So we pulled over and went to AutoZone. We found a blinker light for my car. It was like $3, if even that, $2 or $3. We check out, and the guy says, "Hey, y'all want some candy bars? We got some candy bars." No thanks. Okay, and I just got some brand new fuel injectors. Y'all good on fuel injectors? No, we're good, dude. We just came here for the blinker light, right? Not the blinker fluid. We came here for the blinker light. And, it was kind of frustrating because we were just there for a $2 or $3 purchase, and he's trying to get us to buy a $2 candy bar, which I'm thankful they have, but we were not there for that. And then he asked if we were good on fuel injectors. First of all, I barely know what a fuel injector does. It's for when your tank gets low and maybe gravity's not bringing the fuel into the engine. It will actually pull the fuel out of your tank into your engine so you can run on a lower gas volume, right? You can have less gas in the tank and your car will still run. That's my elementary idea of what a fuel injector is. But anyways, not only that, the fuel injector was like $30. So like we came in for a $2 purchase and he's trying to tell us about a $30 product. Some might even say it's called an upsell. I wouldn't go that far in this scenario, but it could be considered that. So it's kind of the same thing with your website. When someone lands on your landing page and you say, "Hey, by the way, we got all this other stuff," even if you're not specifically tell them, "Go check out our leadership page, go check out our kids," the fact that it's there and it's clickable means that it's distracting. You're overwhelming someone with some information. So one page, one topic, one goal. And it almost always has a call to action. What is a call to action? I'm getting really elementary here because we're digging in deep. A call to action is very basically telling someone to do something. We want you to do something and we want you to do it here, right? So the call to action for your Easter page might be RSVP. Let's save a seat for you. Maybe claim your gift, right? The same thing as RSVP. Let us know you're coming. We'll set a gift aside for you, right? Call to action could also be advanced kids registration, right? That's another good one. A good landing page is only going to have one or two things on it, preferably one. I think most churches, your leadership are going to want two. I'm okay with that. Tommy asked, "Do I need a separate website for a landing page?" I'm going to get to that, Tommy, in just a sec. And what's up, Pete, watching from Northern Carolina? Pete's great. He's always here all the time, and I'm loving it every week. And now he's here for the Justin Novice Show. It's fantastic. So you always have one call to action. One call to action. That's it. Okay. If you need two, you can have two. But what I like to do, and you'll see this in the template, I'm going to give you the link in a second. When you see the template, if there's one call to action, you can include a second one. Just make it smaller. Maybe make the button transparent. Okay. If you have any questions about that, ask them in the Church Media Hacks, and I will show you an example. I just didn't have one ready for the people watching on YouTube and Facebook. So the reason you have the call to action is because, one, you want to get a commitment. Right? People will show up if they commit, or at least have a greater chance of showing up if they commit. Number two is you want to offer some kind of follow-up. Okay. Right now we're working on our Easter landing page right now for my church. And if it was up to me, we would have done a while ago, but we're still trying to figure out what we're doing for Easter. It's our pastor's first Easter at our church. And so we're kind of, getting a feel, is my understanding, of what we usually do and what the pastor wants to do, and kind of merging those two together. So we're still working on it. But, one thing we're going to do, and I trust you guys, so don't abuse this. One thing we're going to do is we're going to ask them to RSVP, and we're going to do a follow-up sequence, which means we're going to email them after they sign up. Just one email every couple days. Says, hey, thanks for RSVPing. Did you have kids? Here's an email goes out 2 days later. Do you have kids coming? We can save you some time on Sunday morning. There's going to be a line, advance register your kids here. A few days later, this is what some people talk about our church. Maybe you've seen other churches in the area. Here's what our people are saying about FBU Church. Another email goes out. A couple days later, another email goes out. Hey, I'd love to meet you before Easter. Would you have time to go out for coffee? It's on me. Signed, Pastor David, right? So they're getting information, they're getting value after committing to our church, because we want them to come. Because so oftentimes Easter's on people's minds right now. Okay. My family already knows what we're doing for Easter. Okay. We've actually known since last month. A lot of people know what their Easter plans are. They know where they're traveling to, and they need to make plans. And what you want to do is you want people to commit to make your church part of those plans for Easter. And again, this applies for any event. Christmas, VBS. Okay, there are people searching VBS in Dallas, Texas, and they're looking for all the churches that are doing VBS so they can drop their kids off in the summer so they have something to do. Okay, whether you like it or not, that's what they're doing. So one page, one topic, one goal. Always contain a call to action, because you want them to commit, right? That's the whole point of the landing page. You have one goal, commit. All right, and then with that call to action, we're going to save your visitor gift, right? We're going to advance register your kids to save you time on Sunday morning. With that commitment, you also gather their information, right? So you get their name, you get their email. You can use that to follow up, okay? Now, you can do it automatically. It's outside the scope of this episode. We are coming out with an email course next month, CTA Insiders. They're supposed to have it in their accounts this week. It'll actually probably be next week, and I'm sorry about that completely. But we will have a course coming out on how to automate emails for your church, and you can do it for free, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna show that later on. Some kind of follow up. Okay, so let's shift. That's a landing page, guys. Okay, so it's one page with one topic and one goal. Now let me answer Tommy's question. Do I need to have a separate website for my landing page? Yes and no. Okay. It depends on how much of a hacker you are. Now I understand most of our audience is a hacker. So you can probably do this on your own website. The thing you need to do, again, for a landing page is you need to make sure that you eliminate all distractions. Okay. Now on my website platform, I actually have the one that I designed for my clients. I actually have a way that they can add their own landing page, and it completely strips all navigation and all footers off of the page. So the page literally just becomes one page that you can't get out of. You have to commit, or you have to hit the back button. Okay. I know it sounds harsh, but this is how you get commitments, and this is how you get people into your church for Easter, for that event. Okay. My website can do it. WordPress has, Tommy, I think you're using WordPress. WordPress has something called OptimizePress. I don't know if it's free, but I know there are free alternatives. We use OptimizePress in addition to other tools. Another one you can use is a service I like to use called Landingy. It's the most ridiculous name, Landingy. But I think they're pretty affordable. We'll have a link down below because we do have an affiliate link for CTA for that. And again, no extra cost to you. And you actually get it for less when you use our link. So don't go sign up for it yet. You wait for the show to publish and get the link. Again, the show will publish within 24 hours of this live stream. So if you don't know how to do it on your own platform, or you don't have the time or wherewithal to figure it out yourself, I understand. You can use a service like Landingy to just make a one-page website. If you're really in a time crunch, I don't recommend this, but I want to make sure you have all the options at your disposal. What you can do is you can try to make a Google site or a Google form. Probably not a Google form because you can't really design it. But if you have Google Suite, a lot of churches do, you can make a Google site. I've never done it before, but I've seen other people do it. It's not that bad, and it is free. Okay. Again, that's going to take a lot of tinkering. Okay. It's going to take some time. So if you're like I said, most of the people watching this, you can probably figure it out for yourself, but we get a lot of people too that work a full-time job. They volunteer as much as they can, but they just don't have the time to figure this out. And honestly, for me, like my church, a lot of our social media graphics, I pay Sunday Social to do it for me, because while I would love to make my own graphics for the church, I just don't have the time. I have other focus and priorities. So I pay someone else to do our social media graphics. That's someone else's Sunday Social, .tv. So if you have the time to figure it out on your own website, go for it. I know someone actually used our website template last year, on a Squarespace site, and they asked, how do I get rid of the navigation? And just a real quick Google search, I helped him find a code that he could put into Squarespace, and it turned his Squarespace page into a landing page. It removed all navigation. So there's that. There is ways out there. You just have to go find them. Okay. Tommy, I hope that answered your question. Let me know in the chat, yes or no, if that answered your question. If anyone else has a question in the live stream, let me know. I'm going to keep going. So let's talk about specifically for Easter, okay? Like I said, we're going deep down and dirty. And if you're thinking, man, I don't know if I can do all this, let me tell you why. And I probably should have led with this, but, I got excited. Why do you need to do a landing page for Easter and your other big events? So when I'm talking about Easter, this applies to your big events as well. Number one, people are looking for Easter specifically when they're searching for things in your town, okay? It's a sad but truth fact that a lot of people only go to church on Easter. I should have had the stat pulled up already, but I want to say it was something ridiculous, like a quarter or a fifth of America is in church on Easter. That's huge. A lot of people are on Easter. Now, sure, maybe it's for family. I don't think you should dog that. Whatever gets people into church, hey, hooray, right? Let's use that time to get them to come back. So why you need an Easter landing page specifically instead of just saying, oh, you're looking for a church on Easter, go to our church website and learn more about us. You need one specifically for Easter because people aren't searching for, great churches in Edinburgh, right? They're searching for Easter in Edinburgh. They're looking for Easter in Dallas, right? And so when they land on your page, they're getting a whole bunch of information that just happens to include Easter when they're really just looking for Easter, right? It's kind of like when you go to a thrift shop and you say, hey, I'm looking for some earrings. And they say, it's in that jewelry box over there. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, toe rings. But there's some earrings in there. You can go find it in there, right? I'm picturing Parks and Rec, the pawn shop guy. But, if you walk into the store and you say, where's your earrings? They say, here's all the earrings right here. Here's a big old box of earrings. Maybe not even a box of earrings. You look like you need this one pair of earrings. This pair of earrings, I think, would fit you really well. That's what your Easter landing page is. You're not saying, go to our site and look at everything we do, including Easter. You're saying, literally, this is Easter, right? This is what you can expect this Sunday. This is what your kids are going to get. This is what you're going to get. This is what we're going to have for breakfast. This is what we're going to have after. This is our Easter egg hunt, right? That is so obvious, and that is going to answer people's searches, people's problems. That is going to be the reason why people are visiting you. So you have to have a landing page because they are looking for Easter, not so much looking for your church. And that's okay, right? That's okay. The other thing is they're looking for one thing and they just want someone to give it to them. Okay. Again, you walk into a pawn shop and they say, oh yeah, here's a box of jewelry. Good luck finding some earrings, right? Maybe there's some on top, but you're looking at a whole bunch of stuff, right? Versus here's all the earrings we have. I have 3 pairs of earrings right here, right? I know I'm really stretching this story, anecdote. They're looking for one thing. So just give it to them. Don't make them go through piles of other stuff. And the other thing too is the people that are, looking for other, they're exploring their options. Okay. The people that are exploring their options, they're going to see your church and they're going to say, oh, Easter. And they see a nice landing page that's all about Easter. That's all about them. That answers what they were looking for. Then maybe they back out and go to another church and they say, hey, Easter. Oh, by the way, Disciple Now. Oh, by the way, kids camp. Oh, by the way, VBS. Like, that's exhausting. Like, I'm going to go back to the other church that knew what I wanted. I'm going to go back to that other church that knew that I just wanted to talk about Easter. Gives you a little bit of a leg up there. I'm not saying that we're all in competition, but you want to make sure that your church is best presented to serve someone's needs. And if someone needs Easter, and you can fulfill that need, and guess what? There's a little bit more trust to fulfill another need down the road. Plus, if you do the call to action, you make them RSVP or something like that for a gift or a kid's registration, you have their contact info after Easter. You can follow up with them and ask them, how come do you plan on coming back? What's your feedback? What are your thoughts? When can we see you next? Okay, not desperate, not needy, but just gather some of that information so you know. And that brings me to the third point here, why you need a landing page specifically for Easter, custom follow-up. When you have an Easter landing page, the people that give you their information specifically for Easter, you know exactly why they're coming. So you can follow up with them exactly how they need to be followed up with. You're not telling them about all your different ministries that they get from signing on to the General Church newsletter. They're not getting the Women's Knitting Circle emails because it's what everyone gets on the General Church newsletter. They only get Easter information. They say, you send them an email. Here's who's preaching. But by the way, I'm preaching, Pastor David's preaching. Can he take you out for some coffee? Here's how to register your kids in advance. Here's where to park. Here's information about our Easter egg hunt. Here's the candy that's in our Easter egg hunt. You are not going to get this kind of follow-up by just signing on to a general church website newsletter on a different church website. You are answering their needs. You are solving what they're trying to get solved. I wouldn't say it's a problem. The problem is they don't know where to go to Easter, but you are following up with them and giving them 100% needed personalization with communication. And that makes you stand out. So, it's kind of like when someone walks up to you. I'm going to do this is literally off the top of my head. I don't have these in my notes here. Someone walks up to you and says, hey, friend, I'm having some marital issues. Something went down. The wife found out. The husband found out. We're on the rocks, and I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen next? What do you think should happen next? And then you look at them and say, well, we got Sunday service at 9:30 a.m. We got Sunday service at 6 p.m. And in case you can't make that, we have Wednesday prayer service at 6. And by the way, yes, we do have marriage counseling. We do offer that. And while you're here, we'd love to get you a free Bible. It's absolutely free, no cost to you. You can take it home. It's the same Bible we use on Sunday mornings. Pastor David loves it. And by the way, Pastor David, did you hear that he's going on a mission trip? He is requiring $2,000. And, anything that you can... That would never happen. That should never happen in real life. Should never happen. And I know that was a super serious situation. Okay. But that's what people get when they go to your website looking for one solution and they get a million ones that probably don't apply. And you don't want to follow up with them the same way. Right. You don't want someone to come to marriage counseling and then they're getting calls from the receptionist saying, hey, are you going to come to the potluck on Saturday? That's not why they came to your church. You want them to come to the potluck. But you also don't want to scare them away or make them feel like they're being taken advantage of because they tried to find you for help. I hope that makes a lot of sense. Dave says, perfect example. I'm assuming it's Dave. Let me answer a couple more questions here, and then we're going to nerd out a little bit. Gerard, thank you for watching on Facebook. He asked, why is a landing page better than a Facebook event page? Great question, Gerard. Number one, you can control what you put on your website. So, for example, I talked about custom follow-up. Okay? When they come to your landing page, you are giving them the call to action to give you their email address, right? So that you can save their gift. Okay? Then you can use that email address to follow up with them and deliver with them timely, customized follow-up. So 2 days after they RSVP, they're going to get an invitation to coffee from the pastor. 4 days after they RSVP, they're going to get an invitation for advanced kids registration. If they register for their kids in advance, 2 days after that, they're going to get information on what candy is going to be in the Easter egg hunt. And if they have any allergies, please respond back to that. Now, you can do all that with the comment system inside of a Facebook event page. The problem with that is not one-on-one. Okay? When you bring the masses in, your church is also going to get involved in that, And that can create the idea that, this is a group and maybe I don't belong. You want that one-on-one communication with email follow-up. Also, Facebook events, I wish they worked much better than they do right now. It's very hard to get information out there using a Facebook event. Someone can comment on a Facebook event and you as the admin may not even notice, at least in my experience. You have to be checking it every day. And then also you can do more things on your website page. Okay. You can add a map. You can add custom directions. You can add, I'm pretty sure you have tracking on Facebook events, but, you can link out a little bit easier. And the Facebook event page is very rigid. It's very, very, very rigid. And maybe someone just doesn't want to use Facebook. Your website is accessible to everyone, right? It's also hard to rank a Facebook page. So if you do have a landing page, you can rank it in Google. So when someone searches Easter in your town, your website will show up before a Facebook event page. Okay. So that's my rundown of why I recommend that. It comes down to control and ease of one-on-one follow-up. Dave probably has a couple more other things. This is more in his ballpark, of why you should always, excuse my dogs, we're live, of why you should, use your website over Facebook, but those are my top things. Tommy, I think this is the last question I'll be able to take. Tommy said, I found several landing page plugins on WordPress. Yes, landing page plugins. We use Optimized Press. Tommy, Dave is in the Facebook chat. I'm sure he'll leave some other recommendations for plugins that he likes. There might even be a plugin that just gets rid of navigation. I don't know the ins and outs of WordPress, nor am I interested in it if you know anything about me. But I will not dog it on the show. So that is why you need an Easter landing page. And I hope I explained a little bit better what a landing page is. It's one page with one topic with one goal. Why? Because you want people to commit. And it's a lot easier to get them to commit, for example, to marriage counseling if you only talk about marriage counseling and its benefits and what to expect, not everything that's going on at your church. Okay? One page, one topic, one goal. That way, when people are searching for what you provide, they get the answer and only the answer they need, because that's all they need at the same time. And then you can customize it with custom follow-up that you can do later on. Okay? Again, I could talk forever about this, but I have to go on because I want to nerd out a little bit. So first, let me tell you about the Easter landing page template. So, given how important landing pages are, and especially for Easter, last year we took the time to actually create a template for you that you can use to guide your own landing page development. Okay. If you're watching the live stream, you can get it right now. Go to churchtrainingacademy.com/028. That was the episode of Church Media Guys when we introduced it. churchtrainingacademy.com/028. If you're watching the show published, much easier, just scroll down. The link will be in the show notes, okay? To download the Easter landing page template. Now, this is part of the confusion, and I'll try to clarify it a little bit better too. There are way too many website platforms for us to build a page that you can just insert into your platform. Okay? That would cost way too much money and take a team that's way much larger. And honestly, we would have to get permission from these big dogs to be like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Plug in here. Right. It doesn't work like that. Okay. So you're going to have to build it yourself, but I've made it as simple as possible to follow along with me. When you sign up for the Easter landing page template, you get a video that explains what each element does and how to build it out for your church. And then you also get the actual template itself as a JPEG with notes on what goes where and how you need to build it. If you've never put together a site on your page, if you've never put together a page on your site, if you just picked a template and filled in information, this is going to take you a little bit of time. It's going to take you about an hour or 2 hours. Okay. Basically inside of your platform, whether it's Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, Church OS, Nucleus, whatever, you're going to have to pick a page and then customize the template. So it might not look exactly like it, or you can pick a blank page and kind of fill in elements that match what we have in the template. Okay. The purpose of the template is to give you a guideline on what to fill out in your own page and what visitors are looking for. So it doesn't have to look exactly the same. In fact, the one that stood out to me last year didn't look exactly the same. He used different colors. He didn't use all the elements, but it still worked. Man, I need to pull his info because he was a fantastic case study for this landing page. But he, like, within a day or two of launching it out, let's say within a week, he already had like 4 families RSVP to his church Easter service that he had never met before. Okay. So it works. Okay. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. Just get the same info on there and follow those guidelines. Okay, so if you're watching live, churchtrainingacademy.com/028, that's where you can go download it right now at the time of the live recording. If you're not live, if you're watching this, just scroll down, click the link, you'll go to the show notes, and then you can download it there. Okay, now let me nerd out a little bit. I got 3 minutes here. Let me nerd out a little bit with Captain Marvel. Now, I saw Captain Marvel. If you watched Captain Marvel, leave a 5 in the chat. Let me know what you thought of it. I'd be interested in knowing. If you watch Captain Marvel, let me give you my review here. I'm gonna talk about Captain Marvel, and I'm gonna talk about where I'm coming from because there's been a lot of feedback, let's say, about Captain Marvel, especially in the conservative circles that we tend to run with as church communicators. First off, Captain Marvel review. As far as the movie, it was a very slow start, but it had a very enjoyable ending. Okay, there was a lot of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in it. And by that, I mean, when you watch Rudolph and you watch the first 20 minutes of it, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of it, you're just kind of like, is this really a show for kids? Because they're being a real jerk to Rudolph. And you feel real bad for him, and you're like, I don't want my kids to watch this. I don't even want to be watching this. This is sad. This is sad. It's a little bit of that. But it picks up, and once you start figuring out what's going on, it has a very enjoyable ending. It has a very fulfilling ending, I think. The graphics were amazing. I say the graphics, not a game, but the way things look is amazing. Marvel knocks it out of the park. You can tell there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? You can tell there's a lot of influence from Lucas sound because a lot of the sound is amazing, and it just reminds you a little bit of what Skywalker Ranch was doing with Star Wars. And whether it's the same people or not, or they just drew influence, I'm not sure. But the soundscape was amazing. The story was pretty good as well. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the story. It's nothing completely unique. It's nothing groundbreaking. There's no twists. You can kind of sense a little bit what's going on, but you're not confident enough to guess it. But it's still very good. Now, let me give this preference here, okay? Because I honestly was torn, and I should not have been, because if you read a lot of the conservative news outlets or maybe the Christian websites, especially Desiring God, one of my favorite blogs, someone just tore the movie apart. Let me say this from me. This is Justin Nava talking, not Church Training Academy. But this is me. This is the Justin Nava Show. Don't buy into all the feminist crap out there that this is going to destroy your kids and it's ruining all the stuff that families do. It's the same crap everywhere is doing, okay? Captain Marvel does nothing more than any other... Captain Marvel and Disney does nothing more than any other movie and franchise and... what am I talking? Studio is talking about, okay? Your kids are getting this feminist crap everywhere, okay? It's not the movie's fault. Don't blame the movie, okay? Feminism starts with the parents, all right? Not only that, I was thinking through the movie this morning, and I realized that Captain Marvel and Captain America are kind of the same story, okay? Anytime Captain Marvel says, oh, you're a weak chick, you can't do anything, replace that with weak boy, and you got the same movie, okay? So it's the same story. There's nothing new here, all right? Don't let that take away. It's still a good movie. I still recommend it, as we're going to see in a second. But it's not like bashing you over the head, because I think you can replace some elements, and it's the same story. It doesn't take away from the story, okay? You know what I'm saying? It's not like if you took the movie Elf, one of my favorite Christmas movies, and you made it take place in July. That would make no sense, okay? Elf is a Christmas movie, all right? Captain Marvel, I don't think it's a feminism movie. I think people are blowing it up, especially while I disagree with, what's her name? Brie Larson. I disagree with what she said. I thought it was dumb. I thought there was very little to gain from what she said about the movie. And outlets kind of took that and ran with it, and everyone started a war with it. Didn't like that. But if you're coming into that and with what you saw, just forget about all that. It's a good movie. So here's my recommendation. If you're a fan of Marvel, oh my gosh, I just called it Marvel. If you're a fan of Marvel, go watch it in the movies. It's a good movie. It's a great Marvel movie. Go watch it. If you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, go watch it. If you don't know anything about the MCU, if you don't care for superhero movies, if you don't go out of your way to watch superhero movies or pay attention to any of the superhero movies, wait for it to land on Redbox or iTunes or whatever your favorite video rental service is. There is a lot of stuff going on in this movie that connects the MCU, and it is a very big bridge, not between Infinity War and Endgame, the two Avengers movies from last year and coming up this year, but it is a bridge of kind of explains a lot of what's going on in the MCU. And I can't get into it without being spoilery, but if you're not a fan of all that, if you haven't really been paying attention, you just want a good action movie or you want a good superhero movie, you might not get it. And so I would say don't spend $12 to $20 to $40 at the movie theaters. Get it at home. But if you are a fan of Marvel like me, if you like superhero movies, go watch it in the theaters. It's a tremendous watch. So that's my review of Captain Marvel. Thanks for nerding out with me, and thanks for joining me on the Justin Navas Show. This has been the Justin Navas Show, Episode 6. What is a landing page, and why do you need one? As always, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below in the live stream or wherever you're watching. And if you got the podcast of this, I would love it if you left a review. My goal is to get 10 reviews by the start of April. So if you're watching this and you like what you hear, or if you didn't like what you hear, go leave a review in iTunes. I'd love to know what you liked so I can do more of that and make this the absolute best show that you can watch. At least that I do. I'm not going to try and make it better than Church Media Guys, but, if it becomes that way, I'm not going to fight it. Thank you guys for watching. Now take what you've learned and go change lives.